Hey everyone, Steve here from NetBeez, and welcome back to our NetBeez product tour. Today we're going to be going over the dashboard, but also talking a little bit about what's new in release version 5.0. And with version 5.0 comes with some really nice enhancements and updates, including agent connectivity, troubleshooting via a script that you can run. We completely redid the profile UI, make it very seamless, update things like secret question and change your password. The schedule test section completely overhauled. We even added thresholds. The network status report, we added some updates there, including UI enhancements. And lastly, the big one is agent connectivity through WebSockets using HTTPS. That's really going to help with things such as firewall limitations. And today you'll see the Agents tab, the Targets tab, the Tests tab, including Schedule Tests, the Ad Hoc Testing, and the Report section. And specifically, you'll see some of the UI enhancements in both the Schedule Test and the Report section. Currently in the Buzz tab, and this will give you a quick snapshot of anything ongoing, some recent performance metrics, target performance, and any ongoing incidents. And then across here, we have all of our tabs. We have our Agent tab, Targets, Wi-Fi, Tests, so these are the ones that you schedule, Ad Hoc Testing, Schedule Reports, your Alert section. Over here, you can go to your settings, and this is where you can look at your notifications, your alert profiles, user licensing, etc. Then this question mark, you can either contact support or access our online documentation. So we have two different views under the Agent tab. We have the list view, which is what our current version is. We also have the grid view. I have a preference towards the grid view. I think it gives you a bigger overall look. You can see more without scrolling, and it gives you a lot of the same information. So like agent type, for example, you can see this is a FASTI with the plug. That's a Wi-Fi agent. This is an agent hosted within our cloud. This is an AWS container. This is a agent that's a software agent hosted in our AWS server. This is our gig agent. And then we also have additional software agents as well. This one happens to be mine. With the list view, again, you get all the same information. It's just, I think it's a little bit more pleasing to the eye to look at. And the last view is the inventory view, and this will give you more detailed information, what the MAC address is, the internal and external IP address, whether it's the one assigned or the one that's broadcasting, what the speed is, what software version that it's on, which you can get that from the individual agent level as well. And before we actually look at the agents, I do want to show you the agent group section. So here you can actually, we'll add one here. You can name it whatever you would like. You can assign whatever agents you want to this group, as well as targets, which we'll go over in a few minutes what targets are. And what's really neat is as soon as an agent goes into a specific group, it'll inherit all those attributes. And an agent can be in multiple groups, inheriting attributes from both groups. And also, if you remove an agent from an agent group, it'll get rid of all the attributes associated with that group that is not already associated with the current group. So it allows you to make mass changes very quickly. And then lastly, you can set a default group, and how this works is anytime an agent comes online for the first time, say you order a bunch more for a new location, once they come online for the first time, they'll automatically put in the default group. So they'll already be running some of your more centralized and basic tests. Now going back to the agent section here, we're going to select my laptop. And again, we talked about this earlier, your internal IP that is assigned from the DHCP server, the external broadcasted IP, your IPv6, your text rate, your RX rate, things of that nature. Here you can scroll through all the alert history. The last thing I want to show is a Wi-Fi agent. So we will click on this one, and you'll see there's an additional wireless tab here. So you generally have general, which is what we looked at before, console, where you can actually run commands directly on the NetBeez agent, and this is the wireless tab. And this is going to show you the last 10 or so disconnect, reconnect. So for example, this one's going to tell you the connection was lost, and this is how long it took to associate and authenticate the network. This one, there was an error with the authentication. This one in particular was a periodic disconnect, reconnect. Same thing over here, same thing over here. You can tell by the exclamation points. Now we're on the Targets tab, and we define a target as anything that is reachable by the agent via a IP address or a website or web address. And in this case, we're going to check Salesforce. And you can see here we have two different resources configured, the login page and the main page. We have DNS, HTTP, ping, and traceroute. What I'll do here is I'm going to go ahead and edit this to show you some of the things here. So this is where you would assign these particular tests. You can add multiple resources. So if Salesforce has 5 or 6 pages that you want to monitor, you would make one target with multiple resources. And here are the default tests that you can enable. So like I said, ping, DNS, HTTP, and traceroute. So here, if you're editing existing tests or making a new test, you can actually assign this test to a group, so you don't have to backtrack to the group section and make additional edits. Doing that here. And then if you go back to the agent section, you can actually select multiple, or if you're editing a test, you can deselect what agents have this test as well. Then down here is the alert configuration. So this is going to be a little bit of a deeper dive in a later video. Here we're in the test section. You have your 3 scheduled tests, iPerf, network speed, and VoIP, and then your 4 on-demand tests as well. You can see your matrices here respectively. But I'll give you a little bit of a sample of the new layout for our scheduled test. So you can see here we have 4 agents running this test at 0 minutes, 25 minutes, and 35 minutes past the hour. So here you will get an average, and we'll click on this one, and you'll actually see all 4 agents, what their download speeds were on this test, their upload speeds, and also their respective latency. And if you just want to see one of them in a chart, you can see here what these respective tests were at every interval. So you can see 9 o'clock, 9:25, 9:35, 10 o'clock, etc. The ad hoc testing is really useful because it's all 7 of the tests, the main 4, and then the scheduled test that you can do literally right now on demand. So if a user is complaining or noting that they're having a specific issue reaching a certain application, or their download speed slow, you can select whatever corresponding test makes sense. You can select the agent that's connected to either switch or the access point that they're attached to, type in whatever destination, whatever have you, click run, and you'll get immediately a response back, whether there is no response, or like an HTTP test can't access the web page, or what the network speed test is, how many hops are, etc. You'll be able to get the data just like that. The last section I want to go over is the network status reports. You may be used to this layout if you've used NetBeez before, but we've actually come out with a newer version as well. Just a little bit easier to read. Everything's a little bigger. I think it's just really designed a fair bit better. And as you know, most of the time these are made for people higher up, people that are enforcing SLAs and stuff like that. So, say you have an SLA for Wi-Fi availability or switch availability, or certain switches need to have a certain upload or download speed. The latency can only be so high. And then transversely, the performance alerts that you set for each target. So especially for something internal, and we'll go down here, and this is where those are going to come in at. So if some of these resources or targets are internal, that your website, the team is designed or whatever have you, and they have to reach a certain threshold, whether it's an HTTP GET request or a ping time or DNS resolution time. You can see if any of these are exceeding that. And if you have certain agents that are not meeting specific thresholds, say you set like a packet loss threshold or whatever have you, you can start diagnosing where that problem lies and how to make fixes to meet your SLAs. So if you want some more NetBeez, feel free to reach out to us at sales@netbeez.net. Some other videos to take a look at. We recently did a webinar on our upcoming work from home agent that we are developing. We've done recent videos of the agent and target management a little more in depth. We will be releasing a deeper dive into the new scheduled test section, as well as the Wi-Fi section. And then we are going to begin working on our next major release, version 6, with a lot more updates and enhancements, and that will be coming later on this year. So if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. If you liked the video, liked it, share it with somebody you think that'll be useful. And as always, this is Steve from NetBeez, and I'll see you in the next video.